We're back here with the Chauvet Foot C2 DMX controller. I've used this as part of a live band on stage to be able to control the lights during the show. I've done a couple videos on this so far, the pros and the cons, how to program it, scenes and chases. But for this video, I'd like to discuss the lessons learned and the new strategy that I am taking using this controller going forward. So to start, let's go over to the original plan and what we're changing. So the last time we looked at this was the DMX channel map and how the lights were assigned. So for example, I had two Slim Par 64s. I labeled them A and B, starting at address 1, and they were the front washes kind of lighting up the front of the stage, and they were tied together so they would have the same behavior, both running in 8-channel mode. The other 64s, C and D, were on the sides of the stage, also running in 8-channel mode, but running from different starting addresses so that light C and D could have different behaviors. And similarly in the back, the smaller Slim Par 38s running in 3-channel mode, but on individual DMX addresses. The reason it was set up this way is so that lights C, D, E, and F could be used in a chase. You could light up just C, then just D, then just E, then just F. But the issue I had was that the controller board only has one speed for chases and scene transitions. So for example, if we go down to a different scene, there's about a 1-second transition time. It's not instant, and that's what I was going for the scenes. However, for a chase, I wanted a snappy transition from each step of the chase to the next step. But that speed can only be one speed. And we've looked at that before here in the function menu. The speed, this is the speed of a chase, which I'm not really using, but it's the fade number. A 0 fade would be an instant transition from one scene to the next, or one chase step to the next. And really, I want some kind of transition for the scenes. So I really want this one value here. So that when we change from scene 1 to, say, scene 4, it's not immediate. It's about 1 second, which is what I want from scene to scene. Because there's a one-size-fits-all fade time for scenes and chases, I have effectively abandoned using any of the chases on here. Not only is it very time-consuming to set up each step of the chase, but in the middle of a show, to go over from mode, change the mode, make sure you hit enter on time, go to the chase that you want, hit enter, change the mode to go back to scenes, hit enter again, go find the scene you want, hit enter again. During a show is a lot to do when you're trying to play music at the same time or try to hit a cue at just the right time. So for all intents and purposes, I will not be using the chases feature on this controller anymore and only using the scenes. So having said that, let's go back to the DMX map and see this new strategy. So here's a stage layout. You can see that the 64s in front, A and B, are still in 8-channel mode and are still tied together. I have now tied together the lights C and D, the other 64s that I have, starting address at 9 in 8-channel mode. So A and B are tied together and C and D are tied together. Likewise, these new 56s, these are a middle-sized light, at starting address 19, are also tied together, running in 7-channel mode. G and H are the smaller 38s, and these are in the back. And depending on the venue, they could be up against the wall for a wash, or some kind of diagonal effect, or not used at all. But they are also in 7-channel mode in case we want to use that. So similar to what we did before, A and B fire across the stage, aiming at our lead singer in the front. I'm standing over here, our other guitar stands over here, our drummer is in this corner being backlit by E, and the keyboardist is over here being backlit by F. He is also controlling what's happening on the screen back here. We've got a shallow throw projector that sits right here, and it can project a fairly large screen without maybe 2 feet of throw between the stage and the projector. So since we're not using any of the chase features, I'm relying on the macros and the modes of all of these lights for strobing effects. You can change the speed to create a strobe. The modes have the pulsing effects. So using all 4 of these pairs of lights, I think we can get something fairly effective that's dynamic on stage without having to use a chase. So if we look at the actual gig itself, here is our set list, a description of scenes, and these are all kind of subject to change, but I put together a rough plan here. And then each fixture, now this is the fixture button on the controller. There's fixtures 1 through 6 on the controller. And then the lights themselves. So for example, the Slim Par 64s, A and B, use the first 6 of fixture 1 button, and then the first 2 of the fixture 2 button, and then the last 4 of fixture 2 are used for the Slim Par 64. So it gets kind of chopped up where this light is using fixture 1 and part of fixture 2. This light is using 4 from fixture 2 and 4 from fixture 3. It gets even weirder where the back 56s are using 6, all 6 from the fixture 6 button and 1 from fixture 5. And then the G and H lights in the back are using 5 from the fixture 5 button and 2 from fixture 6. Given that each bank is 6 knobs wide and these lights are using 8 or 7 channels, it makes it difficult to make them fit nicely when you're mapping it out like this. But hopefully putting it all in one big sheet like this will help me know I need to adjust the dimmer for this light. It's going to be fixture button 2, or modes or speed. I can find them pretty quickly using this chart. So the lights in orange here are the ones that I've already showed you that I've programmed on the board already. Kind of a pre-show dark blue with nothing going on really on the back, and then it gets a little bit brighter for our main show. The plan is to fill out every single one of these cells, either right here in Excel, or I plan on printing it out for a little cheat sheet, and then going through on the next video and filling in every single one of these values and programming the board. For the most part, the plan is to have the dimmer set to 255 on every light and change this as needed when we get to the venue. And see, maybe it's too bright up front. Maybe this 255 should really be like a 200 so we're not blinding ourselves. That'll make it easier to adjust the brightness per fixture. Some of these zeros that I've kind of preset are for settings where we're not going to be changing or having dynamic color changes. So for example, we want a red mellow. I don't even know what this means. We'll play with the colors when we program it. But the front will have a color to it. I took some of the RGBs, took some of the blue out of it. But these are all zeros. The mode, the speed, and the macros are off. So these blocks of zeros are for settings. We don't plan to have anything dynamic. For example, Black Hole Sun, I'm calling it color cycle. Not really sure what that means, but we'll program something that will be dynamic and changes throughout the song. So I've left these blank. This will probably be 255, but I don't know yet. But something in here will be different. The speed, maybe we'll have a pulse, a falling color or a rising color, or maybe we'll just have a strobe. And again, we've got multiple lights here that we can play with. Chances are these front lights will not have anything too crazy going on in front of us, but in the back and the sides here, who knows? That'll be part of the fun of programming this board. So that'll be in the next video. The show is about a month away, so by the time this video goes live, I've got a couple of weeks to get this all figured out and all programmed. So got to get moving on it and get started.